Hello there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we are learning more about nature by playing games. Now we are back here in Grounded, of course, and I'm going to be showing you at the end of the episode what is in that building that I've been building the past while. But for now, we are going to get ourselves a nice fresh breakfast of 2 weevils, courtesy of the new method of cooking stuff by whacking them with a spicy weapon. Now it is time for us to craft some new things. We are going to be crafting a rusty spear by the end of today. We just need to get some rust, and to get the rust we need to have a black ox hammer, and I have been killing a few off screen just so that we have enough parts to create that. I also do want to create the Everchar torch, which is an amazing torch to have. We just need some green shield bug parts, and luckily I know where to find one. We're also going to upgrade our shield by having a Ladybird shield now. And in terms of armor, I am going to be using the roly-poly armor set. And we are just upgrading everything to level 5, just so that we start out with a nice, strong level 5 armor set. And now I think we are fully dressed. So this armor set does increase the enemy's desire to attack me. It also applies the stun damage to the target. Now there is a so-called stun meter, and when that stun damage meter is then filled, the creature is stunned. And I think the stun damage meter increases when you block attacks and when you attack, especially with an element that the organism is sensitive to. But there's one last thing right over here that is really an amazing part of the new update that's coming, and that is the little Christmas trees. It's called holiday trees, but I'm going to be calling them Christmas trees. For me, they will always be little Christmas trees. And notice that below them, we have a whole bunch of stuff. Every day, 24 hours after you built it, and then every 24 hours thereafter, a little thing ends up underneath each of your little Christmas trees. And we just collected 3 things under each Christmas tree. Things you get: candy cornets, which are pretty pointless, but you can eat them, mint shards, sour lumps, charcoal, and also salt shards, which are right over there. And from one little haul of 3 days with 10 little Christmas trees, we have 30 lumps collected. Oh, and spicy shards you can also get. So you can get all those little candy lumps along with charcoal by building these little Christmas trees. You don't have to go and farm them. Also, you get sour lumps this way as well, which you normally need a tier 3 hammer for. So that really gets us in the Christmas spirit, along with a little Christmas wreath or holiday wreath over there. I have been a very busy little bumblebee off screen. Amongst other things, I have been building some ziplines everywhere. In this case, our zipline goes to the shed. And that is where we are heading now. And here we are. Now the reason we are here is because I know there is a little bit more to this side. There is a green shield bug down underneath the porch. We are going to be coming to this flower pot later on, not today, but we are in some future episode definitely going to come here. For now, we're just going to drop down onto this fertilizer bag over here. And there is our quarry, the green shield bug. Now, being a type of stink bug, you would expect that you would need your gas mask. So let's do that, shall we? They're weak to stabbing, weak to fresh, resistant to spicy. So no Coltana for us. Instead, we are, of course... Oh, there was a scarab there as well. Unfortunately, the scarab got away. But we are going to be attacking this guy with our mint base. Hello there, sir. Nice to meet you. Time to die. Where are you? Hello there. Not too difficult. Oh, he jumps backwards with a backwards fart. and a forward fart. Doesn't take long. Okay. Great. We'll just wait for this stink to clear. Lovely. Now, interesting with the stink bugs and the green shield bug here, the mouth parts that we've got here, they wouldn't have mouths like this. Now, we imagine that an insect would have a mouth part similar to ours because that's what we are familiar with. But insects like these are extremely weird. They wouldn't have this. Instead, notice the groove running along the underside here. In actual fact, the stink bug here would actually have a sucking mouth part going, basically extending along here. So they actually have the indentation on the model here where the mouth would be. But I guess jumping out and stabbing you with this long weird thing was a little bit too weird. And they decided to go for more human-like mouth parts. Now, the stink that this bug creates, of course, gets created and secreted from glands there where the legs join the body, around there. And the interesting thing is that it smells very similar to coriander. Now, both my wife and I have now realized that, yeah, it does in fact smell like coriander. And that's because both the stink that the stink bug creates and the coriander, the chemical responsible for the coriander scent are what we call aldehydes. Aldehydes being a type of chemical, certain groups of chemicals called aldehydes. We're just going to pop these little pop cap thingies. Get some gunpowder clumps. Now, please don't think that it smells exactly like coriander. And coriander doesn't taste like stink bug at all. Now, I wouldn't know. I haven't eaten stink bug yet. But stink bugs are actually in some parts of Africa eaten by certain tribes of people who know how to prepare it properly. Now, you need to leach them properly. Dry and leach them. First, you need to actually remove the stink glands. And then you need to soak them in water, as far as I recall, and then dry them properly, and then you can actually eat them. And apparently they are quite good eating. Now, these grubs that I'm digging up here are most likely the larvae of scarabs. It could also be of the ox beetles. They are in this, both of them are in the Scarabidae family, meaning the scarab family. But we are not giving them the chance to actually become adults. Now, larvae like these, we just kill it and shed some light on the subject here. Now, those chewing mouth parts you see in front there would be used to chew plant roots. These are herbivores. They wouldn't actually attack us at all. Now, some people do consider them pests. I like grubs. I've grown up with grubs in the compost heap. They're obviously eating plant matter, helping it decay, helping it break down at least. Now, if they are in your lawn, sure, you could see them as a bit of a pest. But we have a whole bunch of weird things living in our lawn, and that's perfectly fine with us. Now, here comes another ladybird. As I've mentioned before, probably again the Harlequin Ladybird, the same species as the one that's in the lower yard. But this one is extremely aggressive. And we're just going to whack them to death. And there's another one. Now, they have got a bit more of an aggressive attack pattern compared to the previous ones, with them rearing up to attack you, and they should be doing it now in a moment. And here he comes. And you need to perfect block the first attack. Oh, otherwise he is going to launch a second attack at you if you don't manage to block him perfectly. And let's attack a third one, because we haven't had quite enough of them. But a strong mint mace cannot be matched by its armor. Now, right up here, this is the reason I came here as well, there are some pupa. I suspect these are actually the pupae of the moths or butterflies. Now, what happens in here is extremely weird. But the section here, this would be the wings, or these would be the wings that are forming. These are the so-called spiracles, these little holes here. That's the attachment point to the roof up there. But what is happening in here is actually to some extent disturbing. Because normally, now up until this point, the larva of whatever creature this is, whether it's the grub that had been walking around or a caterpillar that had been walking around, they would have been in their larval stage, and they now need to get to the adult stage. And to do that, they form these either cocoons or chrysales, and inside there, they basically become liquid. They turn to mush. If we were to open up this chrysalis here, which we do hammer it open, or well, we axe it open, it's just mush inside. The cells are being reassigned to form a new body, an adult body. And in the process of this happening, the cells are actually undifferentiated. They're not lung cells or heart cells or wing cells or whatever. And in actual fact, they can be completely reassigned. A cell that had been in the leg of the caterpillar, for example, could now be reassigned and become part of a wing. It could become part of the head of the caterpillar. Imagine we did that. We decide, okay, well, as children, we're running around and we've got our legs and our cells are in our legs and everything. And then when we reach puberty, we just decide, no, the cells that are in my legs, I don't want big legs. I instead want a big head. And I need more of my leg cells now forming part of my head. Imagine we just went into a bit of a weird stage. We just stayed in our rooms and spun a cocoon around ourselves. And we just decided, stuff the whole world. We are living as little chrysalises for a month or two. And we are going to emerge as beautiful butterflies and weird little adults when we come out. Now, some of us already emerged as weird adults after puberty. Well, I think I was already weird before that phase of my life. But imagine we just decided we're going to be extra weird and do this whole chrysalis thing as well. Oh, sorry, little one. I need to kill you. I need some more ladybird parts. Thank you. Okay, I think I harvested all the hides I need from here now. Got a whole bunch under the shed. If you need pupa hide, oh, this is the best place to come and get it. And then one last thing for us to do, and that is to get some rust. Now, I know some of these nails, like this one here, are in fact rusty. And that gives us a new resource. And now, of course, that we have actually obtained it, we can also scan it at the top, analyze it, and then use the resource scanner to go and find out where we can get some more. And now this means that we should be able to craft our Everchar porch. And this torch is just amazing. Able to light the way quite brightly at night, but also underwater, which is one of the most amazing things. You can go into the water with this without having to make a slime mold torch or lantern, and you don't need to worry about it being extinguished. You can also right-click it and repair using an Everchar coal chunk. Now, with the new Christmas trees, that just has made it so much easier to now repair your charcoal torches. And I do believe it is now time to go have a look what is happening at this building. So, there's our door. Walking along the path here. Welcome to the museum of this ecologist. So each section of this little new museum that I'm constructing has got different types of organisms in it. This section here holds our small insects, so far, the weevil, the normal one, and the infected one, little aphid, which also wouldn't have a mouth like this, but also like the stink bug would have a sucking mouth part over there. We've got our fire ant worker over there, we've got our black ant worker, black ant soldier, red ant worker, and of course the head mounts of each of these species as well. Now, in case you missed it, if you press E, it says there, mark foe. Pressing E makes the sound of the creature and shakes your screen. And that's awesome. But you go to status, you now also will see that you are doing increased damage against that species type. In this case, against red ants. By either using the soldier or the normal worker ant mount there, you are doing more damage against the type that you have done there. You can do it with a diving bell spider. And you now will do more damage against diving bell spiders. Or wolf spiders. Hello there. There's our Wolfie. Yes. Appropriate sound there. And now we will do more damage against wolf spiders, which is awesome. And of course we need a little festive season exhibit here as well. And we've got a few small arachnids here. My wife and I, we love the fact that we've pinned mites and spiderlings to the walls here. And have a good look at each of these creatures that we have slain now as well. The left hand side, we've got our ant lions here, the head mount and the normal ant lion, the stuffed one as well. Our 3 larvae, we've got our normal lacewing larva, our infected larva, and our so-called ladybird larva as well. And our stuffed versions as well. Over here we've got our termite section with the termite worker, termite soldier, and we've got the termite king head mount as well. We've got our aquatic section here as well. Thus far, we are going to be encountering some other aquatic stuff as well as we go along. And then lastly, our big creature section with our bombardier beetle, firefly, and normal stink bug. Our ladybird, of course, our brood mother. Our termite king, our stuffed termite king. Our stuffed black ox beetle, black ox head mount, and then the roly-poly and the head mount thereof as well. So, that is the Ecologist's Museum. It is going to be expanded as we go along, as we kill more creatures. I am going to be adding another story to this as well, probably at least, and we'll have to see how this develops. So Pete over here obviously wants to be either an entomologist or an arachnologist with a spider person, or just an overall ecologist when he grows up. For now though, Tiny Pete is ready for some tiny sleep. And now, it may be time for something that may be a mistake, but we will have to wait and see. What we'll need for it is 1 gum nugget. And that is it. But where we are heading is into the haze. And more particularly, to the top of this canister over here. Now this is irreversible. Once you have done this, there's no way to actually reverse it. And it is going to change your game quite a bit. For one thing, it is going to remove the haze. In a day or so, the haze should be gone. Well, I think it may actually be sooner, but in any case, we are going to be plugging this hole with 1 gum nugget. Okay, so it seems the haze is actually gone, which means we don't need our gas mask after all. But welcome to a changed yard. No more haze, and some other interesting things are going to start happening now. So join me next time as we will be encountering some of our new denizens of this new world. Until then, stay safe everybody. I will see you all soon.